Lovely good evening and welcome to Ubuntu channel. We are live again. Sorry for bringing the program late, but we have to do what we do always on Friday, and we have Ubuntu Sports, and we are live. Earlier on, we were giving you live pictures from Heroes Acre, where we were remembering the fallen heroes, the Gabon disaster that happened in 1993. So on the 20th today marks exactly 30 years, sorry, since that disaster happened, and we still remember our heroes. Tonight, I'm joined by Mr. Abia, all the way from Eastern Province. Mr. Abia, good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu Sports.
Thank you so much, Reuben. Good evening to the viewers. It's Friday. We want to sports again. We are here for you. Please stay with us. And we are really looking forward to see what we have in our basket. As you can see the different topics today. As you can see on our screen there. So it's a lovely, good flight again. Thank you so much for the viewers who have joined us. Please be with us.
Great. Before we hear anything news concerning Eastern Province League, let's start with today's many issue. I know a lot of people were remembering Kenneth Kaunda, who was overshadowed the other heroes in terms of the Zambia national team, heroes that died in Gabon. Today, Mr. Abia, marks exactly 30 years since those heroes perished. Any memories of them, Mr. Abia?
Yeah, only the few memories that I have, but as it was happening, I was a little bit young. It was in
Yes.
1993, right there when the team was being perished. I was just I was just 2 or 3 years somewhere there. You see, so but the history is there. Those guys, they did a tremendous job. That time KK11 was the hottest team. The only team that was so competitive in Southern Africa was the KK11 and the Zaire. When Zambia was facing Zaire, people, they can't even wait or have lunch or supper, just waiting for the game to start, to watch Maritori, to watch Samuel Zumdrovu, to watch Kennedy Musonda, Charles Musonda, the great man Karusha Waria, the king of Southern Africa football, and the African icon also. And I remember the goalkeeper Effort Chavala, yeah, was there also. Uh, you know, these guys, they did a tremendous job. They put um one thing also what they were doing is that these guys, they were proud of the color, Zambian color. They were not playing for money like nowadays. You see most of behaviors of players, they are playing for money, but these guys, they are playing for a nation, for Mother Zambia. When they said we are playing for Zambia, they mean it. So I can explain a lot to them according to the history that I have, but anyway, we'll just wish them um, good sorrows, and also to the bereaved families.
Mr. Abia, coincidentally, today, being the 28th, it was the birthday for Kenneth Kaunda, and also it's Kaunda Day here in Zambia. Coincidentally, it's on the same day on when we remember the KK11. I don't know if you've seen that, Mr. Abia. We're remembering KK and also remembering the KK11 on the same day.
Most of the game that they played, I remember this team played with Italy. They demolished Italy by 4 goals to 0.
Yeah.
That is also in our history. So for Italy just to invite Zambia to play with them and being demolished by 4 goals to 0. That means the FA of Italy, they see something in the Zambia team which they admired, and for them to say we have to play a match with you, Zambians, I think they see some players they had that zeal of playing football to be known in the world that these guys are really playing good football. So this team was really proud of Mother Zambia. They were carrying a flag high for Zambia. And by then, Zambia, uh, known to each and everyone, I think, in the world that there is Zambia in Southern Africa. So these guys, they did a tremendous job. Wonderful goalkeeping by Effort Chavala.
Yeah,
The defense was also good, and the striking also was also good. So midfield was also good. This team was a really highest team in the world.
great. I was at Heroes Acres today, and I passed through Ifod Chawala's graveyard. I I don't know. There's just history. Uh, I passed through the manager then, who was the coach of the national team, and Godfrey Yukachitalu. I remembered the 107 goals and all the history that I've come to know. It's emotional when you reach the Heroes Acres. We wish government can just do a lot for these families that have remained. I saw one of the family members. I met one of the family members. He was one of the ZAF, one of the pilots on that plane. I met the wife, and I also saw the only son, the surviving son. So it was emotional. It was emotional at the time when we went to Heroes Acre just to pay our last respect to the Gabon disaster victims. Wow. We say may their souls continue resting in peace, and also to the big man KK who loved football, we say may his soul continue resting in peace. Mr. Abia, moving forward, let's look at the what is happening in the Eastern Province. Just give us some updates concerning the Eastern Province League.
Yeah, all right. Am I clear?
Yeah, you're audible. We're able to hear you.
All right. I think from Eastern Province, the league is entering into March 31. Only the 4 games remaining to wrap up the league. League leaders, Chipata United, they are not just the league leaders right now, they are champions of Eastern Province. After, Reuben, this is the first team in Eastern Province that
Yeah.
has managed to walk out in the Eastern Province and be champions without a defeat. Just imagine like that.
Wow. So it was just
Playing 30
win
games,
and
no defeat.
draws. So just winning and getting draws.
Yes, these guys, they really something else. They really up to something. They know what they're doing. I hope this team will not disappoint main Easterners in Eastern Province. They are going to represent us in the international playoff in order for them to bring national league into Eastern Province. This is an outcry for our soccer fans here in Eastern Province. They are really looking forward to
Yeah.
play National League and Zambia Super League. These two things has been admiring a girl at afar. You know what I mean? So you are really crying powerful there.
Yeah. So talking of, let's let's talk about the same Sparta United. So they've won the league without any loss, breaking history in the Eastern Province. Uh, do we now see them? What are they with the way you've watched them playing? Do you think they can bring the National League to Eastern Province?
Yeah, these guys, The team that I know, Chipata United, yeah, they can bring National League in Eastern Province unless something else happened in terms of injuries, um, illness. Apart from that, nothing else can uh, make these guys fail to bring National League. They have all what it takes. Sponsorship, they have a sponsorship, they have a bus now. They can manage to walk, they can manage to travel uh,
Yep.
from here to
Long
Imena.
distances.
I mean, from here to
Pulungu have
Luena Buffaloes.
eh, in the National League, you have teams like in
Yes.
Pulungu, you have teams like the Kingston Pirates. You have to travel to Southern Province. You have to travel to Pulungu. You have to travel to different places. Trident, if they want manage to come to the Premier League, which means they have to travel to Northwestern Province. But there's likeness that maybe Trident might come to the Premier League. But if it then going their way, they remain in the National League, which means Chipata United do need to travel to places like Northwestern Province, which is not easy, Mr. Abia. All right. We seem to have lost Mr. Abia there, but we'll bring him back immediately because there's some good news coming from Eastern Province. He said United has qualified into coming to the playoffs. The date of the playoffs will let you know once FAS releases the dates and the venues. We hope we'll have a team that will be playing in the National League in the Zambian football, and also want to see a team from Eastern Province going as far as this the Zambian Premier League, the Zambian Super League. That would be nice because all of a sudden we see to have some strong representation from Eastern Province. Last year we had Katete Rangers. This year we've got a different teams. So it shows that there's some hope and some changes happening there. We're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll continue chatting with Mr. Abia because we've got a lot on our plate. We've got the Kopala Derby that will be happening tomorrow. The under 17 AFCON will be starting this weekend. Of course, we've got that saga that happened between MUZA and Red Arrows, and also look at different fixtures that will be taking place in the Zambian Super League. Mr. Abia, I don't know if now you can hear me, but I was asking, do you think now, if we say Chipata United qualifies into the National League, do you think they are going to manage with the logistics in terms of traveling and all that? We don't want to see another repetition of teams like Butcon.
Yeah. You are right, indeed. This team is well sponsored here in Eastern Province. I think, yes, in Eastern Province, there's been that behavior of giving out the walkover, especially when the league is going to an end, when they see that there is nothing for us, nothing but being dedicated, they start giving out points. But in terms of logistic, Sparta United, no doubt, they have full sponsorship. They have a bus and there's some sponsors around them. When the team is doing well, sponsors they come around and sponsor you. So if they can qualify to the National League, they cannot fail to travel to play in Northwestern, where there is in Pulungu Harbour, Livingston Pirates, Zesco Malite Rangers, if they are still there, and also and also Junior
There's also
Mighty.
there's
Is it
Cafe
Mighty?
goes.
Aha,
Yeah,
Mfulira Wanderers.
for the Wanderers, if they don't come back into the Premier League, but there is likelihood that they might come back. We hope they come
Okay.
back because that team has got a lot of history, Mr. Abia.
Yes, indeed. I think in terms of the logistic, we have no problem right now. Maybe in future, but we have no doubt that they can fulfill all the fixtures if they are to play National League.
Does it mean that now they'll be using David Kaunda Stadium? We're told the renovations are done at that stadium. With the way you've seen it, is it quality works that were done, Mr. Abia?
92% quality works were done. 8% only remaining for the. There's just a few jobs that are remaining there, but very soon, like they have indicated, the Minister of Sports under the Minister of Sports here in Eastern Province, they said David Keunda will be given out to be full function in June. So we are waiting. That we have just May there. In June, we have full activities at DK. And I believe so if Sparta United has to qualify to National League, they are playing National League, they can use DK with no doubt. That is the only stadium that is qualified to play National League games, because the pitch that they are using right now at Sparta United, it's only qualified to the Division Eastern. They are not in a standard of playing National League games. So without doubt, Reuben, we are going to use DK.
Great. We hope they will do better than what Kadete Rangers did in terms of the playoffs last year.
Yes, indeed. Kadete Rangers were full geared last year, but it's only that the opponents that we are paired with were also equal to the task. And competition in Zambia, competition in Zambia, what can bring. Yeah, that's what so Kadete Rangers failed. But it doesn't mean that they were not a good side. They were a good side, but it's just that like we are not on their side. Let's hope this time around, hope is there for Sparta United, like will be theirs. They can bring National League. But if they fail, it's going back to the drawing board again and see how did they manage to beat everyone in Eastern Province and fail to and fail to progress to the National League.
Exactly. Yeah, you are right. That will put a lot of question marks. It's either the teams that they met were not as strong as they are, then they met now teams which are equal to the task. Great
Yes,
to hear
indeed.
from Mr. Abia. Let's move on because tomorrow, exactly at 12 hours, we'll see the AFCON under-17 underway, and the first game will be Algeria versus Somalia. The AFCON under-17, Mr. Abia, what a tournament that you're about to see there in Algeria. What are your expectations in this tournament?
Reuben, I can't lie here. After after seeing the results that we played with Senegal,
Yeah, the
scoring
4-1 win.
Scoring 4 goals was I was not expecting the team to score 4 goals the way I know under 17. But after scoring 4 goals, they gave me hope that we are going to see some results in this year's tournament. And it's a good grassroots for our African team, for Africa. Under 17, under 20 going forward. I think it's a really good thing, CAF that they are doing. So hope for the under 17. I have high expectation for them to qualify to the knockout stages if there is knockout stages. If there is only the direct qualifying to the semi-final, I hope the team can qualify to the FIFA World Cup by being in the top 4. It's automatically qualified. So I think the boys have to continue working together in defense, in midfield. There were just a few loopholes there in terms of midfield and defense. The way we allowed those 2 goals, it was not in a good way. We gave out the balls and our friends capitalized them. So I think this time around, I think the coach sat with the boys to calm them so that they continue focus. If that can be maintained, we are going to see a good results. And my expectation, Reuben, is that I want to see the under 17 playing in the FIFA World Cup under 17 this year.
Great. That will make a lot of us proud. They are young, and it would also give us hope of them playing into the main national team, into the Chipolopolo national team. So, yeah, we hope they will do that. We hope they will continue banging goals, because it was also surprising for me, especially that Zambia struggles against teams from North Africa and West Africa. But beating Senegal 7-0, it's something that we all have expectations. And uh, just to make it more fun, Mr. Abia, we're meeting another West African team in Nigeria on Sunday, the first game when our boys will be there playing in the Africa Cup of Nations under 17. Uh, do you think the Senegal friendly was enough to say they might just do a walkover on Nigeria, Mr. Abia?
Uh, for now, let's say the friend against Senegal was enough because I don't think Faz was having enough time to organize friendly matches. But you know what happens when you have so many friendly matches? You also lose out players in injuries, so and the like. So I think the friendly game against Senegal only gives the teams hope that they can play together, they can bring results. So I think it was enough for Senegal because those guys, it was like they were weighing up themselves. Where are we, and where are we going to start? So they know where they are going to start. They know where they are. I think one game is enough for them to see the areas that they can improve, especially as you have mentioned that we have problem playing with North African teams, West, East. I think playing with Senegal, now the Super Eagles of Nigeria, I think it's a good move to see how West African they are moving in the pitch. You know, one thing that I dislike from North African teams like Egypt and whatever, these Arab teams, they start getting your emotion first in the first half, then in the second half they take ball away from you. So I think for us to maintain that 4 goal lead and allowing 2 goals, it wasn't bad for us. It gives us hope. So I think our expectations, they are neutral and they are high, so to say. Uh, Polo Polo under 17 will give us something else, Reuben, without a doubt.
Great. On the show, we are joined by our usual analyst in Lameck. Lameck, good evening. Welcome to Want to Sports. Okay, we seem to have a challenge with Lameck, but I'm sure he was going to come back and join us. So our target, we should set the target to reach the semi-final so that we can qualify to the World Cup going forward. Mr. Abia, we need consistency for us to reach that far. We need consistent when we meet the teams. We need to score enough goals. We need to defend. We need to concentrate. But these are young boys. What is it that the coach should do to prepare these lads? We're talking about Coach Ian Bakala here.
Yes, Ian Bakala has a lot of work to do because these are continental tournament for these young lads. The only thing that I see effort Chavala need to work on is you can play well in the pitch, but you need to take on your chances. If you can play good and better football without taking your chances, you are going nowhere. Then, if you are playing good, you are taking your chances. The other team may frustrate you in terms of abuse of languages in the field of play. So they have to teach those young lads how to control emotions in the pitch. One thing I can give out to Reuben is that the way our national team coach for women's that has teaches those girls to maintain discipline. After being given that fake penalty against South Africa, there were no protest. You see, no any other player shows and to say this is not a penalty or frustrations in that game. No, even the players that were on the bench, none of them stand up to say why. We have watched football many games. We see frustration how may it come from the bench side if the decision on the pitch doesn't go their way. You see that. So if that discipline can be maintained in these young lads, under 17, then we have a better future, Reuben. And our future in the tournament is brighter.
Indeed. Last week we're going to the. Let's look at the games that happened last week, and let's zoom in exactly what happened at Nkoloma Stadium, where Arrows was hosting MUZA. We were told the game started very well. Arrows scored first, MUZA equalized. Then the team went on halftime. From there, we were told MUZA refused to come back into the pitch because of the attacks, and here and there, some of the players and officials claimed that they were attacked by the security of Red Arrows, and we saw uh, MUZA reporting this to the police. How do you make of this, Mr. Abia, after seeing the news?
Reuben, especially in the National League, the league that is being watched by other countries in the African continent, I was a bit disappointed. I was a bit disappointed. You know, that such things shouldn't be tolerated. I have seen many teams or many soccer fans being banned, many teams being punished over the same behavior. So I feel Red Arrows, maybe for the lack of better terms, I can say they didn't provide enough security. Because, you know, the damage FC MUZA can do if they have started equalizing, you know. Fear may be in the soccer fans of Red Arrow to say now, since they have equalized, we are going to lose a game, or something else may happen. We don't know. I don't know what really actually happened, but to see that things happen in the National League, for me, I was disappointed. And I seek for fans. You know, one thing I like for fans is this: when it comes to giving discipline, they are good. When it comes to punishment, they are also good. So I don't know if soccer fans of Red Arrows are going to survive this or Red Arrows itself. Then the report that they will submit as FC MUZA and the Red Arrows is the one that is going to show that which team are supposed to be punished, whether it's soccer fans or the entire team. But I'm saying this, Reuben, because I don't know what really transpired for that things to be happening. So let's wait and see. We are going to see what FAS disciplinary committee they are going to deliver. You know, when it comes to to ban a team like Red Arrows, it will be 6 months. Reuben, it won't be good for the team. You know, so this is a lesson for other teams. You know, discipline is an important thing in football. In football, you know, football is a wonderful game where it brings a lot of people together. So if the such behavior can continue, we are going to damage our image of a National League. That's my submission, Reuben.
Thanks. Let me bring in Lameck. Lameck, good evening. Welcome to Winter Sports.
Good evening, Reuben, and to all the viewers. Good evening, Mr. Abia. Good evening. Thank you so much for the welcome.
Thanks. We're talking about the MUZA Arrows saga. We know the game was played at Nkoloma Stadium. Arrows scored first, MUZA equalized, then the players went on halftime. Then we were just told that MUZA refused to come back. Issues like saying some of the players and officials were attacked by Arrows officials. And we saw images of them reporting at Charleston police. What do you make of the whole scenario and all the saga, Lameck?
You know, it's a really tough situation. Tough, but also embarrassing. I think at this level, we don't need to have matches being abandoned in such a manner. And then another thing is that we don't need, at this stage of the league, teams should earn points on the field of play, unlike boardroom points. it's unfortunate that the match had to be ended in such an embarrassing manner. For MUZA, it is within their rights to go to the police if they felt one of their officials was was injured or was assaulted. And I think we also had the follow-up statement from police saying they had I think they had someone that should have been a suspect that was caught and then was being brought in for questioning or something related to that. But overall, I think it was a beautiful match, beautiful first half. I think a very tactical match, level at 1-1 at halftime. Second half, we saw MUZA players coming out of the dressing room, the tunnel, going to the pitch. We saw the MUZA goalkeeper struggling. He had to go to the bench. I think he had something in his eyes that was a source of concern. And for the match officials to reach a stage where they had to call off the match, I think, and then the primary reason was citing security concerns. So for security, it may not be due to inadequate security. It may not really be about not having enough people to man the gates or to provide security, but overall protecting the teams from maybe fans and unruly fans. So Red Arrows may be punished for that. I think they may be punished for that, depending on what the report says, because after that, the teams had to go back. There was a quick closed door meeting between the two teams, the officials, and then I think a lot was said in those meetings. For now, we cannot say so much because we may just need to let the investigations reach their logical conclusion, their natural logical conclusion, and then wait to hear from us. But overall, my thought is that it was disappointing to see a match, a highly anticipated match end in such a manner, because Red Arrows have been, haven't beaten MUZA this season. First, they drew in Mazabuka. They lost at home in the Absa Cup. So we wanted to see more. We wanted to see the match to see if Red Arrows can actually overturn that and manage to beat FC MUZA, a team that has been stubborn, that has troubled a lot of teams. Unfortunate as it was, but we'll wait and see what FAS will say, because the reports have already been handed in, and we just wait for feedback from the association to see if the match can be played, the 45 minutes can be played. But that is also another speculation to say, okay, if the match is to be played, who will bear the costs for FC MUZA? Because MUZA are not a Lusaka team, so they have to come, they have to travel, and all of those other logistics, because they have to be covered by somebody, because MUZA won't come up and say, no, we'll bear those costs unless otherwise. But it's really unfortunate. I would have loved to see the game, be played on the pitch and be decided on the pitch.
Great. And also we saw some instances in the match involving Power Dynamos against Tambishi. Joshua Mtale was stoned in the game against Red Arrows and Green Eagles. We saw also one player from Green Eagles who was stoned. We seem to have a lot of hooliganism still in the Zambian Super League.
Yeah, actually it was Power Dynamos versus Nchanga Rangers and Nkana versus Green Eagles. Oh, yeah. I think those two matches, yeah. It's really unfortunate to see, for me, I've always maintained this. Hooliganism has no place in our football. It should be something that should never be tolerated. And home teams should be punished. For me, I say home teams should be punished, because look, I haven't really delved deep into the first disciplinary code, but for like the FIFA disciplinary code, a team, you don't have to, there's that element of negligence, and then and all that surrounding certain incidences. So those incidences may be cited for negligence from the home team. You understand? So because when that player was stoned, the home team or the stewards should have been able to point out who threw that object on the player, because the safety of the player, because everyone is gathered because of the players. The EXCO members are there because of the players. The television people are also there because of the players. The fans are in the stadium because of the players. So why should the players be endangered in such a situation? Why should we allow players to be attacked in such a situation? And then the unfortunate part is that one incident happens on Saturday, another incident happens on Sunday, which is very unfortunate. And then when teams are punished, fans will quickly go to online medias and other platforms to complain that no, fans hates our teams and all of that, when some of these things are actually self-inflicted. This is also a wake-up call to teams to train and have more stewards during these matches. Yes, it may be a financial cost on the clubs, but again, for security purposes, you may actually call, on volunteers, people that just basically want to volunteer and be part of the club, because these clubs also have communities. Look at Nkana. Nkana is a big club. They have a community where they come from. I think they may be able to get 5, 6 people, or maybe 10 people to come and volunteer during match days. We've seen that, in the Western world, where volunteers have come through and help the club during match days. Others come through helping, organize the ball boys, helping what it's a whole it's a whole different process that the teams need to transition into, not just having police officers. Because if you have 10, 15 police officers, look, the police officer won't sit there and just start looking at which fan is is misbehaving in the stands. Police officers most of the times will mainly focus on what is happening. Others are located on the referees, on the technical benches, and whatnot. Others are spread out in the stadium and all that. But what stewards will do, you have an allocated sitting place. You have a steward there. You have each allocated sitting place has a steward at least, so it would be easy for you to identify where the object is coming from.
They don't even watch football. They just watch the fans.
Yeah, the stewards are not there to watch the game. They are there to maintain order. So for them, if you look at matches from the other leagues, the bigger leagues, you'd see the stewards don't look. They don't face the playing pitch. The stewards face the fans. So it's easier for clubs. We've had clubs such as should be Tottenham a few weeks back, who had I think a fan should have been suspended or something like that, because of because the stewards were there to identify. You may have cameras around, but you need to have a steward who will be able to help and point out who threw that stone or who threw that object onto the field. It makes it easier for law enforcers or the association or whoever it may be. Sometimes it's just other fans who are disguised. Some people may just come as like for example, we may see maybe a non-Nkana fan coming into the stadium and doing something like that, and Nkana will be punished because they are the home team and they need to provide security for the players.
Great. Guys, before we close, let's look at the big game happening tomorrow. It's a Kopala Derby, Power Dynamos versus Nkana. Let me start with you, Abia. Do you think Nkana might delay Power Dynamos being crowned as champions of the Zambian Super League?
The direct answer, Reuben, is yes. They might delay Power Dynamos because in Ghana we are coming from a loss at our own backyard, 1-0 to Green Eagles. And when Power Dynamos visit in Ghana, Pachirata, they also beat us 1-0. And we don't want that thing to happen twice. So we're making sure that we'll get revenge and to get those 3 points. And if not possible to get that 3 points, we will share the point. So, but our main aim as in Ghana is to get 3 points. But the stage where Power Dynamos is a stage where, like Arsenal is, they need to wrap up the league before you disturb them. And Power Dynamos is also eager. They can cause damage at any time you don't expect. They have a good team. And all areas, if so to say, I can say all areas of Power Dynamos is fit. Defense, midfield, striking. But when it comes to Davy, you know where weakness of your friend is. So here in Eastern Province, we say in our local language that so that's what will happen tomorrow as in Nkana. But my prediction is in Nkana 2, Power Dynamos 1. Failure to that, it will be 1-1 state of affairs.
Lameck, you seem to be laughing at the prediction there. It's coming from a Nkana fan who is so confident that they're going to delay Power Dynamos being crowned as champions. What do you think of the game, Lameck?
Yeah, it's a tough match for both teams. I think Nkana have a better record at Arthur Davis Stadium compared to their record at Nkana Stadium. In the recent years, I think in the recent years, Nkana have played so much better at Arthur Davis Stadium. But with all things equal, I think Nkana have done really well in the last couple of games. Power Dynamos equally have done really well. A tough match to pick who wins because derbies form is thrown out of the window during derbies. We've seen Ghana in their waste of form beating Power Dynamos. We've also seen Power Dynamos in their waste of form beating Ghana FC. So it's a tough match for both teams. We may wait to see which one may carry the day, but I think Ghana have a slight edge in this one. Yes, they're coming from a loss against Eagles. Power Dynamos are also coming from a draw. Power Dynamos will push to try and win the ZSL as soon as possible. But again, even with a win for Power Dynamos, it will be difficult for them to actually win the league tomorrow because a win for NAPSA makes it, with 3 matches remaining, 8 points gap, with 3 matches remaining, anything can happen. So Power may not win the league tomorrow, depending on the result between NAPSA and Changa Rangers. But the best Power can do is beat Nkana and then wait from week 32 and just pick a point from there. Then they'll be good to go. But with all things, Power may actually win the league tomorrow also. So it's a tough match. Nkana haven't had the best of seasons, but their inspiration may be coming from the fact that they may want to finish in a respectable position. So it's a tough match for both teams, and we wish both teams all the best.
Great. Thanks, gents, for coming through. We need to wrap up now. This is where we end this week's edition of Ubuntu Sports. We look forward to the AFCON Under-17 starting this weekend. And also, we're looking forward to the biggest derby in the land when Power Dynamos hosts Nkana. Thank you very much to our viewers and see you next week at 20 hours. Bye-bye.